Howdy folks, thanks for joining me today. We are going to do a couple things today. We are going to talk about the new card that's been revealed as the monthly reward card for ranked play in September. First though, we are going to take advantage of the Founders deal that Direwolf has offered us. $4.99, $5, get you 10 packs, as well as some bonus stuff, some legendary card, a legendary card, I guess, a guaranteed legendary card, and some alternative art cards, which is kind of a cool thing that I'm pretty interested in. And $5 for this deal is spectacular, right? So I took advantage of that. Bought it before I started the video because it was pointed out to me that revealing my credit card information to everybody on YouTube was probably not a sound business decision on my part. But let's open these packs up, see what we get. I wonder if they changed the hover over color thing. Alright, so far, Elixir of Vigor. Spectacular card. No, I'm just kidding, this thing is completely unplayable. Golden Maple Shield. This is the real test. Did they change the auto reveal thing? It looks like they did. So we got a rare up there. Okay, no gold cards. Plead of Kinnereth. Pretty cool. Not something that I want to play in anything, although I have seen it played to some advantage in Arena. I think that was a legendary right there. Okay, so here's our rare and a legendary, Renowned Legate. Not a bad card. Not a card I'm super excited about, but has its place. Certainly, potentially a great Arena card. These colors are kind of hard to see, aren't they? Oh, see, I missed the epic. Heirloom Greatsword. I got killed by an Heirloom Greatsword the other day. Inconstructed. I was fairly shocked by this development. That's not an endorsement of the card, but I mean, there are definitely times when I think having an Heirloom Greatsword in hand is pretty reasonable. A couple of rares. Dune Smuggler. Love this card. If you saw my video, my recent video about underrated cards, you'll remember that Dune Smuggler was one of those cards that I named. Okay, got a rare, another rare, maybe an epic. Can't really tell the difference between those two colors. And a rare. Another Dune Smuggler. We might have to throw some Dune Smugglers in a deck, huh? How many of those cards do you think I can fit into one deck that I named? It'd be an interesting experiment. Afflicted Elite. Not bad. Now, I don't know if that legendary I just opened is my guaranteed legendary or not. Probably should have read the details on what I was buying before I bought it, but I did not. Unfortunately, getting a premium version of that card does not improve its playability, although it's a staple in the all-neutral deck that I run. So, rare epic. Immolating Blast, powerful card that I don't see a lot, and I don't know that it's a good card, but it's certainly a powerful effect. Fate Weaver, that card is all over the place. Okay, a rare on the bottom right, and a rare on the top right. Black Rose Herbalist, that's an epic. Gosh, I am just missing my colors today, aren't I? Okay, so where's my guaranteed legendary? Did I already open it? I'm going to be a little heartbroken if that's the case. I'll soul trap this real quick. Alright, so new cards. What do we got? Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's quickly exit out of this. Super secret tech, right? Can't give away all my secrets. So we do have in this patch some new art for Veteran Enforcer. I love that armor. It really reminds me of Morrowind. I'm not sure it's even from Morrowind, but I hope it is. There's my Premium Ash Servant. That is a wicked looking card, isn't it? Huh, that looks great. Can't soul trap it, it looks like. That makes sense. But that looks great. Wonder if that's the art they'll use. I mean, I play that card in Arena quite often, so if I have the opportunity to Put that art in my deck. That'd be pretty exciting. There's my Renowned Legate. Is that my legendary? That's a little heartbreaking, right? There's my Premium Black Sap Protectors. This card's pretty good, sees some play, so I'm excited to get that. There's my Elixir of Vigor. I think the Black Rose Protector, probably the other new card I got. Oh, Stone's Tooth Scrapper. Nice. Another card I like in Arena that I would love to see. The option to draft that color. Can I disenchant this yet? No. That's too bad. And Ferocious Droger. So, my guaranteed legendary was not a great card, but that's okay. What we're really here to talk about today, and by the way, this new screen, wonderful. I absolutely love that. And if you're interested in how you get that bonus deal, you click on. Surely I can't buy this again. I'm not going to click this button though because that pretty sure it bring up my credit card information. You get a bonus title and stuff. Click that icon right there. The reason I am here really making this video today is to talk about this guy, which was lurking down at the bottom of the screen. Hist Grove. Obviously, this card jumped out at me because I love ramp, I love scout decks, and this is built for those sorts of strategies, right? The art's pretty cool. Not sure where this is. Kind of reminds me of some of those underground, mushroom-filled places in the Elder Scrolls games. But so let's look at the text. For 3 Magicka, we get summon, get +1 max Magicka. And when you have 15 or more max Magicka, sacrifice it to summon an 8/8 Swamplifieth in each lane. So this, from what I read, it's instantly going to happen. If you're at 14 and you play it, or if you're already at 15 and you play it, it's going to all happen all at once right after you play it. Get yourself 2 8/8 Swamplifieths. If you're at 14 at the end of the turn and you've already ramped a little bit, so you're going to gain one for the beginning of your next turn. Your turn begins, Hist Grove vanishes, you get yourself a couple of Swamp Leviathans. Not having to wait until the beginning of your upkeep or whatever, use magic terms for this effect to trigger, I think makes it a lot more powerful than if you had to wait. If you give your opponent the opportunity to play a Shadowfen guy or Edict of Azura or something like that, you're a lot weaker to stuff like that than if you just get it immediately when you play it, if you already have the Max Magicka. And I imagine it's not the only ramp card in your deck. Seems like that would be a poor strategy. So is this card good, right? That's what we really need to know. In the current meta, I feel like Tree Speaker is not nearly as good as it was when I first put the early iterations of the Scout deck together. So let's compare the two, right? They're both 3 Magicka cards that ramp you. His Speaker advantages, right? I'm sorry, Tree Minder. Tree Minder is the card I'm talking about. Tree Minder advantages. You have the ability to wound enemy creatures, which can trigger Finish Off or Leaf Lurker. That one's pretty big. Against decks like the Battle Mage deck that I've been running lately, you certainly can get some value out of a guard creature with even just a single attack power, because a lot of those creatures are going to fold to it. And it's a roadblock, but not one that trades favorably at all, really, unless, like I said, those niche situations against Battle Mage, or that's really the only time I can imagine that card trading 1-for-1 very well. But it is a body, and it can push damage, slowly. Hist Grove, on the other hand, you could look at it like you get 2 total stats, 1 attack, 1 defense when you play Tree Minder. Hist Grove, if you look at it like that, you are getting 32 total attack and defense when you play this card. The catch being, you got to get to the end of the game, right? So, does it slot just perfectly into current versions of the Scout deck? Maybe. I feel like Hist Grove offers you some game against decks like Mage, against which your Tree Minder's not pulling a lot of weight anyway. And certainly one of the ways you can beat Mage is to just ramp like crazy and get out something that they can't remove right away. But the reason I like this card against Mage right now is because it's 2 threats, 1 in each lane. Both of them can slam into their largest guard creatures, Manticora and Tiger, and survive. They can't trade favorably. They'll die in the process of swinging into the legendary 6/6 with guard that when it dies vaporizes everything in the lane for 6, every opposing creature. But it's the multiple bodies for one threat, or for one card kind of thing that I like a lot about it. And it's sort of a time bomb, and it's worth pointing out too, that deck has no way to remove support cards. You probably don't run this alongside Tree Minder. You can, but that's sort of all in on a ramp strategy can lead to a lot of draws where your hand is packed full of expensive stuff or your hand is packed full of ramp cards. Having a nice curve that can benefit from explosive ramp is more my favorite approach to ramp strategies. So I think that while it's definitely there are definitely advantages to running like 9, 12, 15 ramp cards. I think 12 I think is the most you can run. I mean, not including the Venom Tongue, which is sort of unreliable, uh, in that you can more or less guarantee your ability to ramp. It's also a lot riskier and probably is more inconsistent than sort of just peppering your deck with these sorts of effects. That said, I feel like Hist Grove in the current meta is pretty good. Um, the two biggest decks right now, Assassin and um, Mage, have no way to remove this. The problem you're going to face, though, is that opposing Spell Sword decks and opposing Scout decks with the Shadowfens are going to have ways to remove this. And getting this removed against by the Scout deck, I mean, you already gained the Max Magicka, and part of the way you win the Scout Mirror is by outramping them. But getting this removed by the opposing Scout deck for virtually free by playing a Shadowfen Creeper is going to be a bit of a blowout if you're expecting it to pull its weight. So the card gets a little bit worse the more popular these Scout Ramp decks become. But I feel like in the current meta, a deck running Hist Grove is going to benefit from it fairly significantly. Do you want to run 3 of them? I think that making the swap clean for for Tree Binder into Hist Grove isn't necessarily what you want to do. I would suggest a 2-2 split, so you're upping your total ramp cards by 1. Tree Minder is not a particularly powerful card right now, but you know hitting 15 max Magicka isn't the easiest thing in the world, right? So you want to kind of make sure you have enough Magicka ramp to make it good, right? So you're definitely running the 3 Thorn Hist Mages, and you're definitely running some number of these in Tree Minder. I feel like the appropriate number in a deck of 50 cards would be something between 8, 9, or somewhere between 8 and 9 and 12. I don't really like Hist Speaker as a card, although it's worth pointing out that Hist Speaker doesn't need to survive longer than 1 turn. All you need to do is be at 14 and play the thing, and your Hist Grove will trigger. Tree Minder is kind of an essential card if this is the sort of strategy you're heading towards, but I feel like running a 2-2 split is more responsible. You could run 3 Hist Groves, 2 Tree Minders, but then you're going to run into you got to be careful that you're not running too many ramp cards, I guess is really what I'm trying to get to as I stumble over the explanation for the math behind this. And running around 10 copies of a card in a deck that is 50 cards gives you a reasonable chance of drawing at least 1 ramp card by the time you can play it on turn 3. It's not a perfect chance, but it's a pretty good chance, and in a game where your starting hand size is 3 cards, you can't be as super reliable or super consistent with your draws as you want to be, which is why you want to do things like run 4 or 5 3 Magicka ramp cards. So that is my thought on Hist Grove. Is Hist Grove good? I think it is good in the right deck. I think it's going to see play. I'm going to play it, and I'm very excited that we got something that's has constructed applications. Last month I was a little bit disappointed in the Barrel of Zero Magicka Spells card. Wasn't real excited to see a card with that sort of RNG, especially one that didn't fit into any existing archetypes, and sort of, I'm not saying it had a negative effect on the meta, but for a couple days there when I was facing a ton of Hex Mage decks running this spell to try to get a bunch of advantage, I won almost all those matches, but the ones I lost felt bad because, they got 4 Cruel Fire Blooms, although that would be pretty bad. But 4-0 Magicka spells and just went off, and I don't like that kind of inconsistency or kind of RNG in my games. So anyway, thanks for watching. This patch I think is really exciting. We have a balanced patch coming up in the next couple weeks according to Direwolf, so we have that to look forward to. And I hope everybody's season is going well. I will see you all on the ladder. Bye-bye.